Hey everybody, Neil here from Post to Post. As the season comes to an end, or the, NHL year comes to an end, the playoffs are almost over, as I'm filming this. Into the summer, I wanted to start a series and continue it through the summer. And it's basically taking every single NHL team's home jersey and redesigning it and kind of applying that same design language to the away jersey. So every single video will be one specific team. This video is Toronto. Next, I don't know who it's going to be. Let me know down below in the comment section. I haven't designed the jersey yet. And then I'll do the away jersey based on kind of the home jersey's design and see if that works. That's kind of the idea. But there's rules. I've set rules for myself. So every single Friday we look at jersey concepts from the community. That's a lot of fun. I get to react to those. But I don't spend a lot of time designing myself. I just don't have time for it. So I thought that this would be a good way where I could just kind of like pick away at it, like choose a team, do 2 jerseys, and then just kind of move on. Not do a full set or anything like that. It's going to take me the entire summer. So that's why I'm kind of doing that. So I want to bring up the rules of what I've kind of outlined for myself, because the ones on Fridays that people submit to the channel and I look at, sometimes there's Winter Classic, sometimes there's Stadium Series, sometimes they're full uniforms or whatever. I'm setting my own rules for myself here. So I've just called it the Redesign Jersey Challenge. And there are 3 rules. Number 1, I have to implement a small change to the jersey. So basically for each team, I'm taking their home jersey and I'm making some kind of small change. Maybe that's adding a stripe, could be removing a stripe, could be changing the color of a stripe or something like that. It doesn't have to be stripe related, but it's just a small change, a small subjective change. Number 2, a big change. I have to make a change to the jersey that would be quite drastic. If it's the Dallas Stars, maybe I change the logo completely so it's something totally different than what they use now. That would be considered a pretty big design language change. So a small change, and then a big change, and then number 3, I put optional shoulder change. So what I mean by that is that if I'm looking at a home jersey, and we'll use Toronto's for example here in this video, what you're about to see. If they don't have a shoulder patch, I have the option to add one, or if they have one, I can change it, or if they have one, I can remove it. But I can also choose to leave it the same. That's why it's optional. So number 3 is optional, and then just a note down below, focus on the home. So I'm not thinking about the away, I'm only thinking about the home, and then I'm gonna switch it to the away, same design basically, and see if it works. So the actual template that I'm gonna be using here is free. It's actually free. It was designed by someone named Puck Designs. They have this available online for you to download. I don't have the link off the top of my head, but if I can find it, I'll link it in the description below or as a pinned comment. Or you can find them. It's at _Puck Designs on Instagram. And this was just part of the package that I downloaded. It says basically, thank you for downloading. Hopefully you enjoy using this template. If you want to credit me, feel free to tag me on Instagram. There's his handle. This template is 100% royalty free, so you can use it to do whatever you like. Editable objects, smart objects, shapes, color fills are all colored in red, and layers that are not editable are colored in orange. It's a Photoshop template. Feel free to go find that and download it. That's what I'm going to be using today. It's just a simple template, and it's clean. So let's jump in. Let's talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs. So as we see it here, I've taken the template. I've designed the Toronto Maple Leafs jersey as it is right now, and it's a fine jersey. Like, the only conflicting thing about this jersey is that the Tampa Bay Lightning have a similar jersey, which has nothing to do with the Toronto Maple Leafs. But that's really my only criticism of the Toronto Maple Leafs. So I have to think about what kind of small change I could do to this jersey to try and improve it, essentially. So I thought about maybe adding an additional stripe on the arm, maybe changing the space of the stripes to give it more breathing room, in the middle. I thought about removing the stripe down below. And then I thought, well, what if we add 2 stripes into the back? Just continue the striping from the arm through the middle of the jersey, behind the logo, and then to the other side. We see teams do this, Minnesota, Florida, Montreal. They do this, and it looks good. So I felt like, okay, well, that's a pretty small change. Would have a positive improvement on the jersey. So that's going to be my small change. It was just basically taking the jersey and continuing the stripe to the back of the jersey. So that's my small change. So first glance, I think it looks okay. It's not. I don't think it's like drastically better or anything, but it definitely makes the jersey a little bit more interesting and also differentiates it from Tampa for sure. My big change is quite big. Okay, get ready. So I've changed the logo from white to red, and here's why I did this. Back in the mid-40s, the Toronto Maple Leafs, for a very, very brief, short period of time, they used red text in their logo. Toronto Maple Leafs was in red text. It did not last for very long, but it is part of their history, and they did use it. And also logically, when we're thinking about Maple Leafs, Maple Leafs are usually red. So even though the Montreal Canadiens do use red and blue and white, so has the Toronto Maple Leafs in their history. So I thought, why not bring just that pop of color back into their lineup, a color that they did use in their past that does represent a maple leaf and does logically make sense. It's not like it's neon yellow or anything and a weird color. It's still complementary to the blue. It makes sense for what it is. It's complementary to the white. This is the big change. It is a big change. It's a bit jarring to see that logo like that, and it's a bit of slap in the face to the Montreal Canadiens, but I think that's okay. Honestly, I think that's okay. Now, talking shoulders. I was going to leave it a little bit blank, but I felt like the stripe at the bottom, I can't change that now because I've already made the small change. So the stripe at the bottom has to remain. And I just wanted to add just a little bit more balance to the top of the jersey because I felt it was a little bit bottom heavy. So I went ahead and I added 2 shoulder patches here, and I didn't use the current logo that they're using here, just colored in white. I wanted to reach back into their history once again. So the red in the logo is reaching back, 80 years or whatever it's been. But here on the shoulders, we're talking late 70s, early 80s, up until, I guess, late 2010s-ish. Geez, I don't even remember the year. It wasn't that long ago, but they used the logo for quite a while. So I decided to use that. I call it the 90s logo because that's the logo that I grew up with, watching the Maple Leafs and them using that. So I wanted to reach back into history twice, and I think it does balance the jersey a little bit more. So that's kind of the direction that I went with the home jersey. Those are my 3 changes. I made a small change with the stripe, I made a big change with the logo color, and I did make the optional change with the shoulder patch. Now let's see if this translates to the away jersey. Boom. Here's where I was conflicted. So I was pretty happy with the home jersey. Bold changes, but I think it still looked good. But the away jersey is kind of where it lost it for me a little bit. It doesn't look bad. I just don't like it as much as I like the home jersey. I'll try and put them side by side on the screen and maybe shrink myself down or something so you can see both side by side. But I just feel like it's almost too blank or something. I don't know. I don't know if the stripe in the background actually complements the logo on this one. So I'm a little bit conflicted on the away jersey, but I do like the home jersey. I think it would be an improvement for me just because I like a little bit of risk in jersey designs, and it's okay, especially as Toronto. If you think about teams like Detroit, there's no risk there. They don't make changes all that often. Same as Montreal. They don't make changes all that often. But Toronto has a ton of jerseys. They love taking risk. They're basically the only original 6 team that doesn't mind a little bit of a risk, maybe other than Chicago. But I think this is realistic and maybe acceptable risk here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So I'm happy with the home, not so much happy with the away. So here's a really good example of why you should take into consideration the home and the away when you're designing for a team. I wasn't thinking about the away. I was only thinking about the home and then hoping it would translate to the away. So that's kind of the fun part of the challenge for me is maybe finding out what a happy accident could be. And by happy accident, maybe the away just ends up being better than the home. That might actually happen for some teams. I hope you can join me on this journey to see if it does happen. Now, as I'm filming this, I've not designed any other jerseys other than this. So I've not gone through this challenge for any other team. I'm waiting for the comment section of this video. So feel free to tell me, if you like the home and the away, but more importantly, what team should I do next? Should I just go right straight for the Montreal Canadiens and, to keep it in the original 6, keep it in the Eastern Conference, or should I go to the West and do something out there? I'll probably do Utah last, to be completely honest, just because they just released their new jerseys. So Utah likely won't be anytime soon, but I really want to do the team that gets maybe the most likes down below in the comment section. So I'm going to wait like 4 or 5 days before I start my next design based on the comments of this video. So let me know what you think of the jerseys, if it was an improvement or not, and let me know what team I should do next. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you guys are having lots of fun watching playoff hockey right now. I'm sure Leafs fans aren't. As I'm filming this, they just got eliminated, so that's not good. But anyways, we move on, and we'll talk to you in the next video. Thanks so much. I appreciate you. Hit that like button if you did enjoy this video. We'll talk to you soon. Adios.